from the corporate sector and citizens at large from Lucknow and Uttar Pradesh in general. We've been here since inception in the year 1975. Lucknow Management Association has built a reputation of being a catalyst to change and initiate dialogues for policy transformation in the state. We are proud to present the first edition of the Global Thought Leadership Series, an initiative by the Lucknow Management Association for its members, citizens, and leaders. Globalization, as we have come to know and experience, has touched us in ways more profound than we have come to realize. Uncertainty and opportunities have expanded in equal measure. The need for thought leadership is an imperative, not a choice. LMA is proud to respond to this need and bring global thought leaders to interact, dialogue, and inspire policymakers, industry, civil society, and citizens to help make our nation more developed, more equitable, and more just. May I welcome the President of the Lucknow Management Association, Mr. G.B. Patnaik, to come and welcome the global leader, the global thought leader, who will be interacting with us today, Professor Kaushik Basu. Please.
Mr. Atul Gupta, Chief Secretary, UP, distinguished guests, members of Lucknow Management Association, and friends. It's a privilege. It's an immense pleasure for me to welcome Professor Kaushik Basu today for this first program of Lucknow Management Association. It's a new initiative, the Global Thought Leaders Series. It's a new initiative by Lucknow Management Association. Sir, LMA is a very vibrant body where we have members from all walks of life, from the civil society, we have members from public sector, government sector, bureaucrats, academicians. And during the past few years, Lucknow Management Association has established as one of the best associations in the country. It is the 5th largest association in the country, IMA affiliated associations. Professor Basu needs no introduction, and it is pretty difficult for me to introduce Professor Basu, who after completion of his school came to Delhi after completion of his school he came to Delhi, and then he went to London School of Economics where he did his post-graduation and his doctorate. After that, it's a long and distinguished teaching career. But to introduce Professor Basu as an academician is just not complete. He has the scintillating mind of an academician, but he has the heart of a writer. I think many of you might not know that he's a painter. He also has written plays also. So he is a multifaceted personality, and we are fortunate to have him this evening. But over the years, he has established himself as a columnist. Anybody who has read Hindustan Times must have seen his very scathing attack, I must say, on governance. But when he speaks about governance, he reflects the helplessness, the disappointment, the aspirations of the common man. People feel definitely disappointed, the sluggishness, the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability in government functioning has been echoed. In India, he had also taught in various important, very reputed universities abroad. The list is quite long. I would say that the important universities where he has not taught is shorter. He has taught in Harvard, he has taught in Princeton, in Stockholm University, in London School of Economics. It's a long way where he has taught for the last 3 decades. And now for the last 6 months, he has joined as Chief Economic Advisor to Government of India. So, with this 30 years of incisive writing on governance, all of us with a lot of expectation, wait for your innings in the government. And I am reminded about Gunnar Vidal, who after 50 years back, 60 years back, in fact, when he wrote Asian Drama, he wrote about the Indian economy, where the economy is like the driver's seat, where the driver is putting both his foot on the accelerator as well as the brake. Professor Basu has described the Indian bureaucrats. They are good, but they are like ace drivers who has been thrown into the jam of the Hazratganj Chowra, where the economy cannot take shape. So this systemic failure of Indian bureaucrats, the Indian system, I think with your close interaction, it will improve. And today when you are going to talk about the Indian economy with the present context, I am very sure it will throw light on these aspects. Sir, I take kind time with your busy schedule, which you have given to us. I also welcome Mr. Atul Gupta, our Chief Secretary. He is the President of the Advisory Board of Lucknow Management Association, and we always get his support from time to time. I thank you, all the distinguished guests who have taken time and joined us this evening. Thank you very much.
This opportunity to welcome the Chairman of the Advisory Council of the Lucknow Management Association, the Chief Secretary of the Government of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Atul Gupta, to please come and share and give a few remarks, please.
Thank you. Dr. Kaushik Basu, Patnaik, my friends, distinguished guests present here. I must admit that field of economics is something which I'm not very comfortable with. The jargon, but being in government, one has to live with them, but I've always maintained a safe distance from them. So when Mr. Patnaik informed me about a talk to be given by Professor Basu, being the Chief Economic Advisor of Government of India, one naturally thought that he would be an expert on economics, having been in Cornell University and so on. So I was fairly impressed by his credentials, but when I looked at the net, I thought I must know a little more about him. And then I found him to be an extremely, a person who comes from the field of economics, but he is down to earth. He has an open mind and he writes on everything, not only economics, but everything relating to governance and what created the interest and most interest was, he had said of something about the Indian bureaucracy. He was a professor in Cornell University. He has moved into the government. He's also part of the bureaucracy, although as an expert. But I understand that someone asked him what does he think of the Indian bureaucracy. He was critical of the slowness of the Indian bureaucracy. So I quote. He says that it's like ace drivers caught in a traffic jam, a huge waste of valuable resources. I thought it's a very apt description of the bureaucracy. It's something which shouldn't have been there, but probably things as they appear to be, one has to live with it, whether one likes it or not. So in that background, I think it would be very interesting to hear Dr. Basu on issues which are concerning all of us. And one more remarkable thing about him is, his wits. Very witty, and as I said, he writes on everything, and therefore it would not be just a lecture on economics, but how it affects us, how it concerns us. I'm sure